You want to own a ranch, thousands of acres of open skies, cowboys on horseback, and your own cattle grazing in the valley. That is the picture movies sell you. Real estate listings hide a harsher truth. Every ranch is a massively expensive piece of raw dirt. If you want to run a serious cattle business in a place like Central Texas, you need around 5,000 acres. At current rates, that land alone will cost you roughly $35 million to acquire. On day one, a new owner holds a highly illiquid asset, an empty canvas that creates deep debt before the first cow arrives. Then comes the infrastructure just to make that dirt operational. You have to install miles of perimeter fencing, drill deep agricultural water wells, and build heavy steel working pens. Next, you need the fleet: tractors, heavy-duty trucks, and hay balers. Adding all this machinery burns through hundreds of thousands of additional dollars before you even buy the herd. Here is the structural problem. You incur all of these massive upfront costs immediately, but your revenue from selling calves only arrives once, maybe twice a year. This model requires staggering capital and delivers terrible cash flow. So why are tech billionaires and media moguls currently buying up millions of acres of American farmland? The ultra-wealthy see a hidden structural advantage in this financial setup that traditional operators often miss. You spend over $1,059 annually per cow on feed, veterinary care, and labor. These expenses hit daily, but income only arrives in the fall. Even in a strong year, a $35 million operation might yield a net profit of just $135,000. That is a return on assets of about 1 to 3%. Mathematically, you could make more money parking that same capital in a basic savings account at your local credit union. And that assumes a perfect year. If a multi-year drought hits, the green pasture dies early, withering into dry clay. When natural forage disappears, you must buy supplemental hay just to keep the animals alive. Because everyone else needs it, regional shortages cause feed prices to double or triple overnight. Then there is the commodity beef market. Cattle prices move in wild cycles based on global supply and demand. Bad timing can wipe out hundreds of thousands of dollars of your revenue in a matter of months. Traditional ranchers face a brutal choice. They either take on massive debt to buy overpriced feed, or they sell off their income-generating cows at a steep loss just to survive. Your equipment payments and property taxes are guaranteed. Your survival, however, depends entirely on two global forces: the weather and the markets, that you cannot control. The wealthiest buyers in America operate under a different set of rules. They ignore volatile cattle markets to focus on long-term land mechanics. First is the agricultural exemption. Commercial property taxes on 10,000 acres are exorbitant. But in states like Texas, simply keeping a minimum head count of cattle on the land slashes that tax bill to a fraction of the cost. While the ranch operation loses money, the land itself is steadily appreciating. A reliable 4% annual increase in property value adds millions to a billionaire's net worth, easily erasing any operating losses from the herd. They also diversify. Leasing the property to corporate hunting groups generates hundreds of thousands of dollars in steady revenue, using wildlife that requires absolutely zero feed, housing, or veterinary overhead. Cattle serve as a legally required cover charge, a way to maintain the land's highly lucrative tax status without the need for a profitable operation. The most powerful financial lever available to these landowners is a legal provision called a conservation easement. An owner signs a permanent agreement with a land trust, promising never to commercially develop or subdivide the property. In exchange, the federal government grants them a massive charitable tax deduction. Restricting a $100 million ranch can shelter tens of millions of dollars from federal income taxes. A single signature can eliminate a landowner's tax liability for over a decade. The owner secures an immediate, legally sound tax shelter, but they retain total private ownership, security, and exclusive use of the estate. Modern mega ranches operate as sophisticated real estate and tax vehicles. Wealth builds through land appreciation and legal sheltering, while the livestock simply pay the entry fee.